Say the name James Comey to anybody in or around the MAGA movement, and more often than not, the person you're talking to is going to spit on the ground at the mention of Comey's name, to borrow a line from an old Paul Simon song. But now Comey has reignited all the hated passions of the MAGA movement and those beyond it with an Instagram post that many people are perceiving as a threat against the life of President Donald J. Trump. What am I talking about? Hang on, folks. We're going to get into all this in just 1 second. My name is Brian Trippett. I am your front porch conservative. Step on up to my electronic front porch and let's talk. James Comey's run-ins with President Donald Trump and the MAGA movement over the years have become the stuff of political legend. It is safe to say that Comey is not a beloved figure inside Trump world. But now, through something that he's posted on Instagram and since deleted, he has managed to raise the ire of not only MAGA world, but maybe even people beyond it, as the post crosses a line that many thought someone like Comey would never go over. I take you to the pages of Newsweek to begin to explain what exactly all this is about. Headline: James Comey deletes post depicting 8647 after backlash online. Article written by Anna Commander. We have the following. Dateline, Washington, D.C. Former FBI Director James Comey apparently posted a photo of shells on a beach that were allegedly aligned to read 8647 and has since sparked backlash online by those saying it is a threat aimed at President Donald Trump. Newsweek reached out to Comey via his book website and the White House by email on Thursday. Comey was appointed by former President Barack Obama and during Trump's first term led the reopened investigation to former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's use of her personal email. Trump later fired Comey, a move that triggered pushback for his handling of the investigation. Comey has since been a noted critic of Trump, especially during the legal battles involving his handling of classified documents. In a since deleted post on Instagram, an account under Comey's name, the former FBI director said, quote, "Cool shell formation on my beach walk." The account has over 130,000 followers. Now, for those of you who may not have seen what the picture looks like, I will take the liberty of going ahead and showing it to you. It is fairly interesting, and like I said, you can begin to understand why it is that this would spark such a backlash. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what he posted. This is what he called a cool shell formation on my beach walk. This came from James Comey's account. We go back to the article. Again, from Newsweek. The post sparked immediate criticism from conservatives, and it is immediately unknown to Newsweek at the time of publication if Comey's account was hacked or tampered with in any way. Donald Trump Jr. reacted on Twitter saying, quote, "Just James Comey casually calling for my dad to be murdered. This is what Dem media worships demented." Meghan McCain, daughter of the late Republican Senator John McCain of Arizona, posted on Twitter saying, quote, "Don't know how this can be interpreted as any other way other than a threat against President Trump. James Comey should be at the least get a visit from the Secret Service. Also, is everyone mentally ill?" The phrase 8647 is perceived to be an anti-Trump message, with lawmakers like Republican Senator Mike Lee of Utah calling for Americans to condemn its use. The association to Trump is that he is the 47th president of the United States, and the term 86 generally signifies to eliminate something or someone, as a mafia reference commonly understood to mean, quote, "take 8 miles out of town and put 6 feet underground." In the restaurant industry, it can also mean a dish is no longer available, according to a chef's resource. In a new post on Instagram, Comey said he saw the shells and, quote, "assumed they were a, quote, political message. I didn't realize some folks associate those numbers with violence," Okay, folks, let us talk about this for a few minutes. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not giving James Comey any benefit of the doubt here. It is quite obvious what that meaning was. 8647. James Comey is intelligent enough of a human being to realize what those numbers put together mean. He's also been around Washington, D.C. long enough to understand that when you show that kind of political message, it has the potential to incite violence. May I remind everybody that James Comey had only been 1 month out of his tenure as FBI director when Steve Scalise was shot at a congressional baseball game by a man who was influenced from comments made by Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. Come on, James. What do you mean you didn't realize some folks would associate those numbers with violence? Give me a break. You knew exactly what you were doing when you posted that on Instagram. You're not that naive. You worked around Washington way too long to realize what that was going to do, and it had every bit the intended effect that you wanted it to. Oh, it may not lead to the conclusion, but you know where I'm going with this. You wanted to send a message. And they're going so far to render an opinion that most people never thought quite possible. With that, folks, I take you to an interview that Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard gave with Jesse Waters of Fox News. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to hear this. This is how serious the Trump folks are taking this. Ladies and gentlemen, please do me a favor and check this out.
The rule of law says people like him who issue direct threats against the President of the United States, essentially issuing a call to assassinate him, must be held accountable under the law.
Do you believe Comey should be in jail?
I do. Any other person with the position of influence that he has, people who take very seriously what a guy of his stature, his experience, and what the propaganda media has built him up to be, I'm very concerned for the president's life. We've already seen assassination attempts. I'm very concerned for his life. And James Comey, in my view, should be held accountable and put behind bars for this.
Here's where I come down on the whole thing. For my part, I don't disagree with Director Gabbard. This has got to stop. And no, this isn't about James Comey with me, nor is it about Donald Trump. A little bit earlier in the clip that I just played, Gabbard refers to something that's starting to settle in, and that is assassination culture, particularly on the political left. As opposed to resolving their issues through the ballot box or through open debate, there is starting to become an insidious and very dangerous assassination culture that would rather eliminate people permanently as opposed to deal with them politically. A message has to be sent. James Comey cannot be so naive as to not realize what posting that was going to do. He knew exactly the kind of reaction it would get. Not just from MAGA world, but quietly from people watching for signals and signs. Yes, I think James Comey needs to be at a minimum investigated and arrested. Whether or not he's charged, whether or not anything else happens, I don't know. But a message has got to be sent. This has got to stop. Otherwise, we're going to descend further and further into political violence as opposed to open debate and elections to resolve our political differences. But that's what I think about it. What do you think? As we start to wrap up this video, please do me some favors as always. Number one, if you're not a subscriber to my channel, please do so. Number two, please hit the bell for notifications. I want to make sure you're always aware when new things come out, be it a video or a live stream. Number three, share the link around with your friends. I'll take all the help I can get in growing this channel. And finally, please leave a comment below and hit the thumbs up. It really does help with the algorithm and spreading the message about this channel. My name is Brian Trippett. I am your Front Porch Conservative, and I'll see you next time.